Today with Congressman Mike Coffman in the 6th District of Colorado. He's a member of the House Committee on Armed Services, the Subcommittee on Oversight and Investigations, the Subcommittee on Military Personnel, the Subcommittee on Sea Power and Projection Forces, the House Committee on Natural Resources, the Subcommittee on Energy and Mineral Resources, the Subcommittee on National Parks, Forests, and Public Lands, the House Committee on Small Business, the Subcommittee on Contracting and the Workforce, the Subcommittee on Economic Growth, Tax, Capital, and Capital Access, the Subcommittee on Investigations, Oversight, and Regulations. It's a lot of subcommittees.
A lot of subcommittees.
It's a lot of committees in general.
It is. It is. It's a heavy load.
It definitely sounds like it. And I'm here today representing the USINPAC, which is a U.S.-India Political Action Committee, and I would like to thank you today for giving us the time.
Well, I want to thank you for having me.
All right, so I guess we can get into some questions here. So regarding the U.S.-India relationship, what do you think about the current state of it today?
You know, I think it's good, but it could be a lot better, and I believe that it will be better. I think that the relationship between India and the United States will grow very strong over time. I think the two largest democracies in the world, India being the largest, but I think that India and the United States together represent a counterweight to the rise of China, as well as India and the United States are natural allies to work together in the war against terrorism. Both India and the United States have suffered horrendous attacks by extremist groups. And so it is only right that our two countries work together.
I completely agree with you, Congressman. And I guess what more would you like to say about what would you like to see happen with the strategic relationship?
Well, I want to see it grow. I want to see our forces become more integrated over time. I want to see us work together in a cooperative way, joint military exercises between our two countries. I think that the United States and India, being democracies, have, I think, a very different view of the world than I think other countries. That we have a moral outlook in terms of our relationship with those countries around us, and so it's just incumbent for us to work together to make a difference for global peace. India is a rising power, and together with the United States would, I think, be a force multiplier in the world for good.
So, absolutely, and I guess that took me right into my next question. You know, India and the United States are both victims of terrorism. We both have, like you said, we both have a natural instinct to work together on this. So what are your recommendations to jointly solve this problem?
I think certainly to share intelligence in terms of counterterrorism, to work together. What I hope is that the United States and India forms an alliance, so that an attack against one is an attack against both of them. Just like the NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, with those members, that attack against one is an attack against all of them. And so I think I think Americans feel, when Americans think about Mumbai, and I can tell you the most shocking and extraordinary thing I've ever seen was that CNN did a special on Mumbai that I've watched, and they had all of the cell phone transmissions from the terrorists and their handlers, hour by hour, and it was the most chilling thing. And that is the heart of evil. Just as bad as taking airliners and flying them into the World Trade Center. And the power of extremism is to intimidate and invoke fear. And I believe that if the United States and India can stand together, because we have the same enemy, that we will be stronger together than we will be apart.
That completely makes sense, Congressman. So, I saw that interview, I saw that CNN special as well, and it was very, very heart-wrenching. I guess on another note, have you been to India before?
You know, I went to school in India for a while.
Oh, great.
When I was an undergraduate student at the University of Colorado, I had an opportunity to go, what they called then a study abroad program, to go to Tamil Nadu, India, and study at what was then Madras, which is now Chennai. And I think it was one of the most extraordinary experiences of my life. And I really learned the beauty that is India, and a tremendous respect for India culture as well as the complexity of the country. It's a very diverse country, but a real love for the country, and I think out of that, I think arose a respect for the country, whereby I have an understanding, maybe a little bit better than many members of Congress, of the potential of the relationship between India and the United States.
Okay, that's great. So, in your local constituents, have you attended any local American or Indian American events?
Oh, absolutely. We have a very strong Asian Indian community within my congressional district. Very talented people, many business entrepreneurs that really remind me more of Americans at their origins, that they have such faith in the country, they work hard, a belief in family, and that they've added so much, not simply to my congressional district, but I believe throughout this country, in terms of being able to really move our economy forward. Small business is really the engine that drives economic growth. And Asian Americans are really at the heart, quite frankly, in my in my congressional district, of a lot of innovative small businesses. And so I just really admire them. And they just, it's almost that, I hate to say it, but I think Americans that have been in America for a very long time, for many generations, I think that somehow we lose the qualities that are truly American. And sometimes it's our immigrant populations, such as Asian Indians, that remind us of what made America great.
Absolutely. And as you know, many of the people in the Indian community are immigrants or second-generation immigrants. And also, President Obama is discussing bringing up the comprehensive immigration reform bill to Congress. What are your views on that?
Well, the part that I think the problem with American immigration policy is that we have a surplus of low-skilled labor and a deficit of high-skilled labor. I think from India, quite frankly, is a reservoir of high-skilled labor. And so I think that we need them. And until we can reform our education system, where we're producing that level of talent, we need to import it, quite frankly. And if you look at graduate schools across America, in mathematics, in the sciences, in medicine, the Asian Indians are disproportionate in their numbers in those areas. And not just that, I'm struck by just the entrepreneurial talent that they brought to America. I believe in immigration. My mother's an immigrant. I believe in legal immigration. But I also believe in immigration with a purpose. I think that the purpose of immigration is to advance America. And quite frankly, I think that the Asian Indians, and certainly one of them and many other groups, have advanced the cause of America.
Thank you, Congressman. And you touched on this throughout the interview. As you know, small businesses are the growth engine of innovation in America. And Indian Americans do have a disproportionate number of people who own businesses. And they own everything from high-tech companies to biotech companies, renewable energy companies, and even small local markets. So given the tenacious economic climate, what steps is Congress taking or should be taking to protect the interests of these small businesses?
Well, I think that a couple of things. I think certainly to lower the cost of doing business in America. I mean, I worry that America is losing its edge in terms of being that place that is sought after by others who have talent throughout the world, who can say, well, I can do it here, or I can do it in the United States. Where it used to be, I need to go to the United States so I can realize my dream. So we need to get back to that, where we are the destiny of hope for those who have dreams throughout the world, to come here and to realize those dreams through hard work and determination. And so I think we need to lower the cost of doing business in America. We need to have, I mean, the Asian Indian community really values education. We need to have the kind of education institutions that reflect those values in the United States.
Absolutely.
At every level, not just in higher education.
Thank you, Congressman. So, thank you so much for coming out here today to support us. And what kind of a message do you have to the members of USINPAC?
Well, I just want to thank you so much for having me today, and thank you for all you do in terms of trying to make a difference in this country. And I think that and that's one thing. Well, I meet Asian Americans Asian Indians that are involved in their community, but there are a lot that are not. And I want to say to them, because they are striving for success in America as well, that they also have an obligation to be involved in the civic process, whether it be elections or whether it just be having input on policy at every level. That I think civic engagement, civic involvement is an obligation of American citizenship. And so I want to encourage every Asian Indian, as well as every American everywhere, to be involved and to vote but to be informed in terms of voting. But they have an obligation to do so. So I meet with the Asian Indian community, but the ones I meet with, of course, are involved. But I know that there are those out there that are not. And so my message to them is, you have an obligation to be involved.
Thank you, Congressman. I definitely agree with you on that.
Okay.
Okay, so finally, I guess, can you give a brief message to your Indian American constituents?
Well, I'd like to give a shout out to Hitesh Patel and Nash Thakaran. They're the co-chairs of my at least Asian Indian Republican community, and there are others as well that do so much to move our community forward, and they're involved in a lot of other activities as well. But I mean, we've got in Colorado as a whole, we have. I'm just so proud of our Asian Indian community and all that they do to contribute to make Colorado a better place, as well as to make this nation a better place.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
All right.